Hi guys, this is Asa reporting. I wanted to make a quick video for you to describe the easiest topic in law school. So just take 1 second to think about it. What is the easiest topic in law school? Okay, I'm gonna tell you. The easiest topic in law school is criminal law, and I'll tell you why. Because it's like basically in like every movie. It's so international. I mean, people are like always killing each other and like stealing from each other and doing really messy stuff. So, I would like to go through it real quick and, I had good grades in that class too, so I can tell you all about it. So, here's my outlines, but I don't think you can really see it in there, so it's better that I talk about it. I'm gonna start from here. Um, Basis of criminal law. So, there's a common law, and then there's the statutory law, which is the Model Penal Code. That's where the criminal law comes from. And there are three fundamental requirements in order for something to be considered a crime. Okay, so what are the requirements? The first requirement is Actus Reus. So, like there has to be an act. The second requirement is mens rea, which is basically like a culpable mental state. And the third is there must be causation. So that means that there must be a causal connection between the culpable act and the harmful effect. Okay? So I'm going to move on and I'm going to describe to you, for an act to be culpable, it must be voluntary. So, like you can't just like do an act and, for it to be involuntary. But for an involuntary act, if the actor had no control over it, then it would just like totally be unfair to like punish them, because like the whole purpose of like punishment is to deter them from doing it all over again. So if like an act is basically involuntary, so it's like, what are you punishing me for? I didn't do that on purpose, right? So it would be unfair. And then I'm gonna talk about something that like some people will like argue that it's like involuntary, such as like intoxication. But like the thing is, intoxication does not render the person's conduct involuntary. I mean, you got drunk on purpose, right? So, there's another thing that like some people will say, "Oh my gosh, I was like pressured to do the crime," like something like that. No. An act done under pressure applied by another person is not considered involuntary. I mean, you made the decision to do it. It's not involuntary. Okay. There's like one last topic. I want to close it up with that because I don't want to bore you. I want to make a quick video. But this is really important because, we're talking about Actus Reus. So, this is the omission liability. Like this is the failure to do something that is legally required, and it is considered a culpable act. Okay, so I want to give an example of like what are examples of omission liability. So, number one, okay? There's a special relationship between the defendant and the victim. For example, like I'm a surfer, I like to go surfing, like the lifeguards, if they're there to like look at you and like, they see you drowning and they just like basically sit around and they don't do anything about it. Well, I mean, that's omission to act. You're there to like save my life. Like, hey, I'm here drowning, help me, kind of thing, And then there's another one. Someone places another person in like a perilous situation. So like let's say I hit you with my car and like I caused you to like just lay there and like you're dying and you need help, or like I push you in a well and you're like in the bottom of the well, you're like, hey Asal, like help me, and I'm like just standing there laughing. No, like if I like pushed you in there, like hey, I have to do something about it to get you out of there, right? So, the third thing of the omission liability is a person may have a duty to control the conduct of another. Okay, so like let's say like with parents, they have like a duty to control like the conduct of their children, and like if the child like suddenly goes and like pulls a chair from behind the grandma and the grandma like falls on her butt and like injures herself, like that's like the mother's duty to like be looking after her child, and if she's not doing that, that's omission to act. So basically, I'm just gonna close off by just saying criminal law is basically all about like assigning moral blame. You know, there has to be someone who did something wrong and, you know, they're morally getting blamed for it. You know, I'm already 5 minutes in. I really wanted to go through the topics and like the issues of criminal law. There's like a lot in there with like attempt, with like conspiracy, the defenses. But you know what? That will have to go in another video. So I'm gonna go ahead and say goodbye. Have a good day. Cheers.